others would. Hyder Ali stretched languidly on the thin matted floor across from me. With the sun streaming on his face, he began, saying, "Hamara gaon, laluji ke bagal ka hai," making a reference to the former chief minister of the eastern state of Bihar. He belonged to the village next to that of Lalu Yadav, who was known for his humor and easy laughter, often at himself. I looked up from reading his loan application form. "Did you know him?" I asked. He nodded sideways to say no. "Have you met him?" I tried again. He nodded sideways again, breaking into a bony grin. But I understood that this was what he wanted to say about himself. The thing that the lengthy form, filled with personal details, did not ask. I came to associate humor and unfettered laughter with Hyder Ali, too. Unlike Vidyabai and her family, Hyder Ali did not want to stay in the trash business. He leaned back, rested his hand on the lime green floor mat, barely noticing the stripes it pressed into his reddened palm, and told me of his journey into the mountain's shade and his dreams of stepping out. He wanted to use the money to set up an embroidery workshop of the sort he had spent his youth in. He would bring embroiderers from his village to make bridal outfits to sell in the city for a commission. He hoped it would take him away from the hills, inching up his family's fortunes. I followed Vidyabai, Nagesh, Hyder Ali, and the others back to the garbage mountains to see if their odd businesses would lead to unpaid loans for us. But I also went to see this strange place, which I had heard of, but like most Mumbaikars, never seen. I found a vast township of trash growing invisibly in plain sight. Mountains that were more than 120 feet high, surrounded on one side by the Arabian Sea and on the other by a sequence of settlements. This began my more than 8-year entanglement with the Deonar Mountains and its denizens. I watched the lives and businesses of 4 families unfold in their shadow. Most of all, I had watched Hyder Ali's teenage daughter, Farzana Shaikh, grow into a life that seemed as unlikely as the mountains that I also watched rising precipitously with desires that had flickered and died in the city. This book is Farzana's story, her family's and neighbors' story, and I am grateful for their permission to write about it. I came to see the mountains as the pickers did, bringing the city's used luck, depositing its faded wealth on the township's tricky passes. I attended hundreds of hours of court proceedings that aimed to control the city's waste, thinking every time that the mountains were about to move. I collected archival documents to unravel the rumors I heard from pickers. Garbage once came here by train, Vidyabai had told me in one of my earlier walks on the mountains. It felt unreal, like many of the legends and lives around the tricky mountain slopes. A train service just for garbage? And yet, it was true. Years later, I found myself at Oxford University's storied Bodleian Library reading colonial records of how Bombay's garbage had indeed come to Deonar by special train. In the summer of 2016, we had begun reducing and soon stopped our lending in the lanes around the mountains. I visited only to meet pickers, hear of their lives, and write about them. Some were uninterested in conversations that did not end in our low-interest loans, but most chatted endlessly, cried, or steamed up as they spoke. Just speaking won't explain how we lived on the dumping grounds. You'll have to bring a video camera, Saumya Shaikh, who had worked there for nearly 40 years, told me. My own affection, frustration, and bonds formed with these people over the course of 8 years. But the world of the Deonar Garbage Mountains is a world of its own, where I was only passing through, even if as a long-term visitor. I have stepped away in order to take my audience into